Hello, morning, ladies. My name is Shaz, and welcome to the What If Evil Deku had the powers, or Infinity and Zero powers. So yeah, this is the dark version. Not super dark, but just enough to, he's the pinnacle of revenge. And so, yeah. What do I mean by that is, imagine if the revenge got turned into a human. And yeah. So now let's, without waste any time. So this is an alternate one. So it's the little bit darker than most, villain Deku things or evil Dekus or Zukus. So, yeah. He's way powerful than that guy. And way more dangerous than the female version of the evil Deku that always gets asked all the time. Here. Email. So yeah, this girl that always asks the questions. Yeah. So, and no, she isn't going to be in this What If. The female, or Zumi, is not going to be in this What If. I'm just using the evil, yeah. So, let's begin. So, I'm going to skip over the boring part of, he was born and the Zuko, whom ends or at age of 4, the quirk doctor tells the Zuko that he has no quirk, so he's quirkless. And that stuff out of the way. So he went, saved his comrade, his friend, and the villain, or the pro heroes were too busy. And yeah, so if you've seen the I'm trying to find that piece, but yeah. I forget his name. He's Mr. Fancy Pants over there. This guy right here, he ends up, not All Might, but the one that's behind All Might. This guy right here. He ends up being on the news. Or actually, hold on. The pro heroes were too busy, and so Zuko came in and saved his friend from getting consumed by the sludge villain. So then after that, then he shows up on the news and tells them that that kid should or has no rights to whom like do the hero stuff. And that broke Zuko's heart. His pain. And so he left. Because how much they told him, or the mountain lady, the other pro heroes went on and they told their opinions about Zuko, or the quirkless, and that made Zuko really mad. As his anger, but All for One could sense it and tells him, or he did teleport to where Zuko was at. And All for One could tell that Zuko's upset. Plus, he also could sense the abilities inside of him of infinity and zero. As All for One quietly says to himself, they do not know what they just got into. Hey, young man. As Zuko looks over. Sorry. So so in this universe, there's quirkless, then quirks, then there's abilities one. The abilities has more authority than a normal person. Basically, when they have quirks, like I can't zoom in. Okay. Like these people, like the Sir Night Eyes, this guy ends up, and All Might tells, or they have quirks, and they are a little bit higher up than the pro heroes and citizens. But Zuko, or people with abilities, outrank them. Basically, they're higher ups. So when Zuko, plus his friend, or he had a girlfriend named Ochako, and she's worried about him. Way more than just a normal one. Yeah. So, All for One tells Shiraki-sen that he needs to use Zuko as instead of a fresh Nomu, because Zuko has more experience with dealing with certain people. And Zuko was So a time skip to 15, first of all. And Zuko was so corrupted that even, like, he could watch the that guy talk for endless amount. The one right here, the one that you see before you, this one. Yeah. So Zuko ends up beating the snot out of, or actually he's hitting the wall. Every time he gets angry, his anger meter, like, because they usually keep track of his anger, and it's like a nuclear bomb. Put enough radiation in it and, like, or make it, like, fill up all the way full, and you have a world destroyer. Yeah, that's what they did. And so the day came. Ochako goes to UA and she becomes Class 1A, and so then the USJ comes around, the villain shows up. Not very many villains compared to canon version, but it's just enough for Mr. Aizawa to take care of. But Ochako sees Zuko. Oh, there. Among the, standing right next to, like, the Shiraki-sen and Kirigiri. As Zuko sees him, as Shiraki-sen, and that's this guy right here, tells them, or tells the pro hero Eraserhead that these villains are her, or they are quirked. So they're tier 2. Villains. As Mr. Aizawa was wondering, these are weak ones. Yes, as Shiraki-sen says, but there's one powerful one. And you who could see, he's standing right beside me. As Shiraki-sen points to Zuko Midoriya. Just standing there quietly. As the Mr. Aizawa, or all the Class 1A students, were like, wait, what do you mean? As Shiraki-sen says, you boneheads have no idea. Don't you? You guys were born with quirks, or all of us. That's commons. The being born quirkless or quirk is are common quirks. But the abilities, 1 out of 9.9 bazillion. And you have and you see before you, as they could not believe it. And when they heard that Zuko was born with and he's a more rarest type, that makes him way rarer than a normal human. He has two abilities. Infinity and zero. As when everyone heard that, they were shocked. They could not believe that this kid is above all of them. He has more rights than anyone. And he's a more dangerous one of them all. As even sorry. Here, hold on, make sure. Yeah. So he ends up, so Mr. Ozawa was shocked. But before he even said anything, Zuko teleported right in front of Mr. Ozawa, grabs his face, slams him down, grabs his leg, throws him around like a little rag doll. And like, bam. And Shiraki-san, did I forget to mention? The more angry he gets, the stronger he gets. But there's one word that really ticks him off. As Shiraki-san says the name of a certain one that here. This guy right here. This guy's name right here. This one. And Shiraki-san says his name as Zuko went full like kamikaze as he broke every bone in not in Shiraki's, but in like broke every bone in Eraserhead's arms, legs, things. Couldn't even stand up. As he went on a rampage, he broke the villains' arms, just their arms, not their legs. As he goes right up to Class 1A, as Mr. Ozawa tries to use his quirk, but it failed. What? What's going on? Oh, I see. Power of Zero allows him to also take away quirks in his versatility. So that means, as Eraserhead says, so he takes powers away from everyone. But it was too late, as he took away the students' quirks. As he, I mean, as, and so when he stole quirks, more, he also got stronger. Same strength as what Muscular can do, but on a whole nother level. So then the students were all knocked out. 13 was knocked out. Two, as the villains, the only two villains that were unharmed was Shiraki-sen and Kirigiri. As Kirigiri, Shiraki-sen says to Kirigiri, it's time for us to let our comrade deal with this. As the All Might shows up, Ezuku says, the one hun. As now, All Might, and as Zuko, instead of letting All Might go do his first move, Zuko just came in, hits him, sends him flying out in the open. As the punch took away the shards or fragments of One for All. And so then, and All Might can't buff up anymore, so he's a weakling. As Zuko says, how does it feel? As he says, how does it feel? You all are just like the normal humans every day, living your best lives. And for the quirkless people, you all making fun of them. But there's one man that I can never understand. Then, and Zuko, who tells All Might that I'm a big fan of yours, but this is a new and improved version of me. Anger, revenge. So then other pro heroes comes along, Snipe with his gun thing. As Zuko has no weapons, as somehow Snipe couldn't believe that the kid grabs the gun out of his hand and tossed it away, broken. As he says, now you're quirkless. As Midnight tries to use her quirk, he's telling the truth. But how? As one of the students, let's say Momo tells All Might, but then All Might could not believe it. So then he ends up telling the rest of them that keep your distance away from that kid. He's not a quirked person. He is the opposite. He has the abilities. He has two abilities, infinity and zero. And when when the pro heroes heard that they were shocked, sweating bullets. Owens. Like, every single one of them was sweating bullets. As Bunny Girl tries to go in but she ends up getting her quirk snatched away and grabs her face and slams her against the ground. Yeah. You guys are second ranked. And you are not a threat to me. As he goes right directly to the guy, his headquarters. This guy's headquarters. As along the way, they called in military and Skyforce and Stars and Stripes and and other pro heroes, but Zuko took care of them. As during all of this, Shiraki-sen and Kirigiri was back at their secret base, and so watching this unfold as the man, as All For One says, man, this kid's on a whole nother level. So this is the powers of the infinity and zero. As Zuko walks around, anger in his eyes. Yeah. I know. It's like a fusion of the villain Deku, the one that I'm trying to, or evil Deku, should I say, I fused him with Doomsday Zuko. One shot. Because, So, Zuko climbs the building, and he was at his office at the time. As the guy waiting, as Zuko breaks in, grabs the guy's throat, pulls him out, and lifts him all the way to the skyscraper. As he holds him and tells him, "You're the second ranked." As he holds him over because his building was super tall. No one could survive it. As Zuko holds him over it and tells him, "You should not make me mad." The pro heroes was as the guy was literally begging for his life, or begging for Zuko to be more than just as he says, the quirkless this person you made fun of, and I'm not okay with that. As you could see anger in his eyes, viciousness, as he tells him that you should be the one accountable for the people that said those things that broken my heart. No one, as he says, no one should ever say, oh, you can't, and or a quirkless should not saved him, anyone. The person that I saved, as he says, that I saved was my best friend. And you wanted to let him die. So I'm going to return the favor. As he drops the guy off the ledge and dies. And that's the end of the Mr. V, or whatever his name is. In his career. He died a tragic death for him. So, yeah. So basically, he died honorably. Azuku watched him die. So now, I believe his name, I'm trying to remember his name. So, Zuko jumps off the building, lands right on his feet, and he's just fine. As he maniacally laughs at the dead body. So, yeah. Maniacally laughs. Yeah. Because, yeah. So, he leaves. As many people lock their doors, closes their windows, closes the blinds, and they knew that Zuko was dangerous. As Zuko knows, was the most powerfulest broken character that I ever made. What I mean by broken part is that he got told by by this guy that the one with his cell phone thing, or looks like an iPad thing, out. That he couldn't become a hero without a quirk, and said bad things. So then Zuko became a psycho. So he was on top of buildings, feeling empty inside. And he still maniacally laughed. But it's like the crocodiles is from One Piece's laugh. Where it's ha, 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 ha. Yeah. So, yeah. And, yeah. So, but many villains that saw him brutally dropped the guy off the building was they all agree because none of them have the guts. Not even All for One even has guts to do what Zuko just did, throwing a guy off a yeah. So yeah. So there was, because he expanded his powers of Zero, so he took away everyone's quirk, making them feel helpless, quirkless, as nobodies. And as he was like, laughing, as he was in pain, he was in pain, but he enjoyed it more than anything. So, yeah. So Zuko ends up became, or so All for One and All Might, or actually All for One, or the only people that were left. So All for One died because when Zuko expanded the Zuko's power, or his power, it also took away the immortality of All for One's immortality. And so All for One dies. All Might is now in his debuff thing, like basically, aka he's in the scrawny version. He's just a quirkless person. And so, but Ochako actually had a plan and to do something reckless, as Zuko says, all right. Or actually, Ochako says, all right. So then she finds where he's at, and she uses the stairs too, because she couldn't use her power because she lost it. And she found him sitting down as he and was like he had his back against the wall, reading the book, just a normal book. And so Ochako walks up slowly, and she tells him and she walks up slowly with a brave face, and he looks up at her. He sees her, but then he looks down at his book. And they grew up together. Like basically an age of 3. I'm making them the same age, so Zuko tells her that he always had a crush on her from the very beginning. And she's basically understands that he's actually in love with her. And he's kind of blaming himself for doing that. And she sat next to him as he tells her that if you're here to get your quirk back, I'm okay with it. As she walks up, as he does, or she does, she says, I know that deep down inside you were avenged, or not avenged, you offensed, you were defending your pride. Yeah. And did you really? Hey. Well. As he still looks at his book, because he knows that she's still there. Yeah. This is a question for you, Ochako. If you had to pick any Zuko or any alternate version of myself, who would you pick? And she's wondering, what does he mean by that? As Zuko says, there's many alternate versions of myself in the entire alternate universes. Some of them are sweet, some of them are hard, core. Like this one, that the Void is his name. Or is his name, but I still call him Kirigiri version of myself. As she walks over and she hugs Zuko, I really don't care. As she says, I really don't care which one or which alternate version of you whom I actually did pick one. That's our Zuko. You. And she says, no, darling, you're one of the kind. Mm. As Zuko looks up, as he could not believe that before he even said anything, Ochako kissed him right on the lips. And so, yeah. So then Zuko was a little bit embarrassed. So, yeah. So Zuko was embarrassed. And, yeah. As Zuko says, plus, he also tells... Oh, hold on. How long has this video been? Let's see. Oh, perfect time. So, yeah. So, Zuko tells Ochako the thing as I left all of the rest of you alive. Just had your quirk stolen. But except for that guy, as he shows a picture of him, as Ochako's like, yeah, he was a turd. He always spouts crud. But as All Might was secretly, or like, he hid behind the door thing. And when he heard that, when All Might heard there was multiple Zukus in the metaverse thing, as Zuko says this to Ochako, I'll tell you one of them. Sure. Kirigiri version of Zuko named Void, that's his name, Void, is a... Spoilers if you haven't watched manga or anime. So, but if you're in the future and you already seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So, so he says Kirigiri was a Nomu, the high-end Nomu. His true name, as Zuko says, the Cloud Boy's name. I forget his name. And so so news helicopters were like recording, and the quirks during this. I feel like this world is lucky that it didn't have the Doomsday version of myself. As Ochako's like wondering why. Me? Because when you had the power, if you had the same powers as what I have, and you go see every alternate version of yourself, and there's one that would be in it, would be like Doomsday version, you would have been freaked out too. He's a Nomu, basically, but the most dangerous one. I have seen him kill All Might. Buffed up form, brutally. Yeah. But how about his guy that you said, the Void? Well, he has a backstory. So, but if you guys haven't seen... Sorry. If you guys have not seen the What If Zuko Was a Nomu thing, go check it out. It's pretty much heartwarming thing, or not heartwarming. It sends thrills. So Zuko explains it was the same situation. Feels like it's over and over. The Quark Doctor tells me that I was quirkless and didn't get along. This is what Zuko is saying. So, as he has the same, So, and the hunter left us for a fake job. It was a trap. A fake or real trap to turn him into a Nomu. Just like how I was, as he turns around and looks down. Like how this guy looks at a window. He looks down. As he tells Zuko more. Or no, Zuko tells Ochako more. So, yeah. Perfect. So, because I'm not going to do part two, or this is going to be the movie. So, usually movies take like from 0 to 1 hour. So, if you don't want to watch that long, I'm perfectly fine. So, Zuko, I mean, yeah. So, Zuko tells Ochako more about, like, yeah, but so Zuko says, as Ochako tells him, Can I ask you something? Sure. Can you give us back all of our quirks? Sure. So then Zuko raises his other hand, because he's like Todoroki, but instead of having ice or hot, like, he has zero and infinity. So when he raised his right hand, and it like took away all the villain, or no, everyone else's quirks and powers. And then, but when Zuko says, "Here you go," as Zuko raises his left hand, and as the powers return back to their rightful owners. So, yeah. So basically, heroes are back in business, villains are back in business, and like, and yeah. So Ochako walks up one more time and tells him that they they should date each other's. So yeah, they've been dating, and Zuko became like the anti-hero version, or anti-villain. He helps the heroes to take out the villains, to put his sentence of him from, or his wanted level, to 0. And thank goodness. So when All For One, or not All For One, All Might tells Zuko that good job on, and the guy, the one that you murdered by just dropping him off the cliff thing, or the building, was a jerk anyway. So okay. So good job. And most of the people hated him, hated this guy right here, because he was always super rude, never like shows his true face out. And but Zuko did saw his true face, and yeah, before, and then yeah. So the villains, and like Muscular agrees. So as Zuko says, all for one died. So, as everybody says, how about you, or all the villains agree, how about you become a symbol of evil? Okay, but I know that you will probably hunt us down because you do both sides, but go right ahead. So then, yeah. So so then the time skip to no the day of the or actually a time skip to like the so Ochako and Zuko got married and had 3 kids and and 2 of them or no all 3 of them have quirks and all 3 of them have powers. So yeah. So yeah. So now and I said and and plus all the villains does not even want to make Zuko upset. He was upset before when the that guy with a weird hair colored V thing. Um, this guy right here was in charge, but then Zuko just comes in and throws him off the building, killing the him in the process. So yeah, and because Zuko is also the symbol of like not harm, but he's a watcher. He's keeping the balance between. So yeah, and he's immortal, so he can never die or grow old. He looks the same age as what he does. So yeah, so now this is going to be the end of the What If. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, and do all that stuff. And thank goodness I planned it perfectly. Peace out, y'all. Peace. And please don't offend. I'm not going to offend anyone, but that's okay.